I grew over 2 million followers in only 2 years on Instagram, a total of 6 million followers across all my platforms organically.
So how do you trick the algorithm to make yourself go viral?
I made sure they stuck around to the very end. Second thing is I made them rewatch it, or at least made the algorithm think the people are rewatching it. How can I get somebody to watch my video from beginning to end? If you can do that, the algorithm will push your video even more.
So what does success mean to you now versus when you first started?
Financial freedom, location freedom, time freedom.
If somebody is starting from 0 followers, what is the first thing that they should focus on right now?
The first thing they need to focus on.
Famous and Wealthy Podcast, man. Today we got my boy Mentorship in the building, man. Today we're gonna be talking about how to grow your social media, man. How to build your audience and how to monetize and stuff like that, man. Break that down a little bit about how we do that. You might have to take notes on this bitch.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad to be on here, man. So a little bit about me is I grew over 2 million followers in only 2 years on Instagram, and a total of 6 million followers across all my platforms organically, no paid ads. Later on, then I started doing paid traffic, maybe this year or so, like that. But yeah, so essentially the first thing I say is people need to make sure they have the organic presence really out there, because these times that we live in, a lot of people are going to go on your social media to see if you have some type of following before they want to purchase your product and services, right? So I'm like, nobody's going to buy from you if you got 100 followers, you got 1,000 followers.
Exactly.
Right? They want to see that you have a nice organic presence, because that shows a lot social proof, right?
Yep.
So what you want to do is I always recommend you start going on finding other people's content that's already working and kind of leveraging that to kind of get some ideas, right? So I always say, like, literally just go to Instagram, start searching up your niche, look at other people's content, and you leverage that to start actually getting more ideas so you can actually start structuring your content better, right? Because a lot of people are starting their content off terribly long. They're making content that people are not even interested in. I'm like, yo, where are you getting these ideas from? All right, just literally look at the platforms. This is going to show you the best type of content to actually start producing, right? So we're going to get a little bit more into that a little bit later on, but yeah, just a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
So I want to know right now, if you had 0 followers and you want to get to 1 million followers in the next 6 months, what would the steps be that you would do?
For sure. Step one, what I'll do is I'll go to Instagram and I'll search up my niche. From there, I'll look and I'll use what I call the 10x outlier rule. So I'm going to find the average content is doing at least 10x better than what I'm normally seeing. So if a video is getting on average 10,000 views, I'll find the one that's doing 10x more than that. Then what I'll do is I'll copy the link to that and I'll go over to a website called Socialize. And on there, you can actually paste in that link and the AI is actually going to rewrite the whole entire script for you in your own tone of voice. And I can literally just copy that, paste it into CapCut, which is step 3. And then from there, I can literally just read off the list and actually start creating the content. I'll double down on that and do that about 2 times a day. So I get 60 posts a month. And that's what I think is the best. That's the best amount of content you should be posting if you actually want to go viral super fast. It's 60 posts a month.
So how do you trick the algorithm to make yourself go viral?
Yeah, so in order to trick the algorithm, you have to understand what the algorithm even wants, right? And a lot of people don't even understand that the fact that if you want to actually have a viral video on social media, you need to make sure that you're structuring your video correctly so it can get people to watch from beginning to end. It's as simple as that. There's no secret crazy recipe. It's like, how can I get somebody to watch my video from beginning to end? If you can do that, the algorithm will push your video even more, right? So there's some techniques to that, right? So if there's 2 things. The first thing is, can you get somebody to watch from beginning to end? The second thing is rewatches. So they love rewatches, right? And we talking all short form, by the way, right? So all short form content, Instagram Reels, TikTok videos, YouTube Shorts, all that, right? So can you get somebody to watch from beginning to end? That's 100% retention. If you can get them to rewatch it, that's the second strategy, right? So I'm gonna put you on with a play right quick. So what you want to do is, I called it my listicle style format, right? So I always leverage this, easily get a couple million views. I teach other people how to do this. They get a couple million views off the strategy. Wow. So what you want to do is you want to start off with a simple hook, listen off 5 things, maybe 5 plays, 5 websites that people can leverage to do the thing they're trying to do. And then what you want to do is you want to follow up with something I call an interest peak. So something as simple as saying the last one was my favorite, the last one was the best. What it's going to do is it makes the person a lot more intrigued to actually want to stick around to the very end of the video. So I say, for example, I'm doing a video on credit and I say, here are 5, actually no, let's say I'm doing a video on funding and I say, here are 5 banks you can go to get access to $150,000 of funding, right? And then I say, the last one was my favorite. All right, so I follow up with that interest peak. And then when I list off 1, 2, 3, 4, here's a little hack, right? When you get to the last one, you don't actually give it to them. You want to tell them, for the last one, check the comments down below. So now what I'm doing is I'm literally getting people to watch my video from beginning to end. They watch to the very end of the video. And then at the end of it, they want this one little thing. I tell them, check the comments down below. When they go in the comment section, they read that thing. What's happening is my videos looping around 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So now the algorithm like, oh, everybody rewatching this video. So now I did 2 things. I made sure they stuck around to the very end. The second thing is I made them rewatch it, or at least made the algorithm think the people are rewatching it. And sometimes what I even do, I wouldn't even put the last thing in the comments. And now people engage with the video like, yo, this man lying. He didn't even put it in there. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm getting more engagement for the video, and the video is actually blown up.
Oh, wow. Damn. So how was life growing up for you? Like, did you grow up, poor? Did you grow up with money?
Yeah, actually, a little bit about me too is I was born in Ghana, right? So I was born in poor city in Ghana, and not all parts of Africa is bad, but where I was born is actually pretty terrible. Like, I literally grew up carrying water on my head. I remember to get clean water just to literally brush our teeth, to shower and stuff like that. We literally had to go to get from a well, right? So my family actually dug a hole in the ground once we finally hit water. And what we do is we walk miles and miles to this hole. We would drop a bucket of water, a bucket inside of there, right, with a rope. We would pull it back out, carry it in our heads, and go dump it into a larger bucket at home. And we would use that for drinking. We use that for bathing. We use that for food, everything. That was literally what we did. And I remember growing up in an environment, I never forgot that. I'm like, yo, if I can grow up in something like this, there's no way I can't be successful, right? I'm like, literally, like, this is the definition of poverty. A lot of people say they come from poverty, but I'm like, this is the definition of poverty, right? Yeah. Having to literally walk miles and miles barefooted or in some sandals to go get water that everybody can just turn a sink on and just get that water, right? I ain't had that growing up. Yeah. And I remember I used to literally sleep with roaches and bed bugs. You walk in my room, you see literally all red marks all on the walls. Why? Because we was killing the bed bugs, and it was literally smeared all on the walls. We had the roaches, and I remember I wanted a pet, so what I had to do was I had to catch one of the mice that was inside our room, and I put that in a little shoebox, and that was my pet, my first pet that I had. Damn. And yeah, so that was literally how I grew up. But even then, I was still like hustling and everything too. I remember I started selling candy to make a little extra money. My mom helped me with condensed milk. I used the condensed milk, and I was like, if you heat it up, you can make it into candy. And I started selling them. Then I'm like, okay, cool. I can get a little bit extra money, but I could make more money if I was selling birds. So this is what I did. I started taking the money I was actually getting from selling the candy, and I started actually using that to save up. And then I bought a slingshot, which I started using that to kill birds. And I was either eating the birds or I was selling them to make a little extra money as well too. Oh, and that's really how I grew up.
Damn. So how old was you when you moved from Ghana to the United States?
Yeah, I came here like right past my 9th birthday. So I had just turned 9 years old, like 2010. Yeah, that's when I came.
What was that like when you first came to the United States?
Man, I want you to picture it just like this. A black African kid with a thick accent. You know what I'm saying? I go to school with Americans. I'm going to school, I was getting bullied. They're like, man, you ain't got no name brand. You ain't got no designer. I'm like, well, I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? They're like, you come to school ashy, flooded. You got an accent. I remember I'll be in class. They turn off the lights. They're like, where Sharif go? You know, that's my actual name. They turn the light off. They're like, where Sharif go? You know, if you dark skinned, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So they turn the light off in class. They're like, oh, I see floating teeth. Man, I was getting it all. They were just clowning me. And yeah, I was getting a lot of people bullying me. But the funny thing is, I feel like bullying helped me. Because what it made me do was, it made me want to work harder. I'm like, okay, they tell me I don't got no name brand. I bet I'm going to get a job. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start doing these side hustles so I can actually get money and prove them wrong. So then I went and got the designer belt. Then I went to start getting the True Religions and stuff like that too, right? Because I'm like, even in the beginning when I start, I'm like, okay, let me get a little bit of name brand. I remember I don't know if you remember Truck Fit. I started wearing Truck Fit. Yeah. I started wearing Rockaway. They're like, yo, that's out of style. I'm like, damn, hold on, I can't even win. Like, y'all tell me what designer. I start wearing a little bit of, name brand. Yeah. I start wearing a little bit of something like, it's out of style. I'm like, yo, what? Right. And then it wasn't until later, so like high school, was when I finally started fitting in. Because at that point, my accent was gone. I had dreads literally all the way down here. And nobody even knew I was African, right? So for a long time, I didn't even want people to know I was born out the country just because it would just get me bullied. Yeah. So I was lacking a lot of confidence there. Then later on, it came back after I really started like, yo, man, I don't even care about what none of these people think. Because I started realizing, none of these people even got what I want. So I'm like, why am I even caring about impressing them? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When I'm trying to, do some crazy stuff, and then they just regular people. You know what I'm saying? So I went and got a job, when I got my first car, went ahead and started investing into myself and literally just started learning. I'm like, I'm gonna become the best person. I'm gonna be better than the average person in my age range. That became my goal. Instead of trying to become like the average person that was my age, I started wanting to become better than the average person.
So how did the experience motivate you, to actually win that you went through?
The experience of like getting bullied, or what are you referring to?
Like, like coming from where you came from, getting bullied, just the whole nine that you went through. Like, how did it motivate you to be who you are today? Like,
yeah, no, that's a good question. So how that actually impacted me in my life was the fact that I knew where I came from, so I never forgot it, right? I'm like, I thought back to the days and I'm like, okay, we literally was sleeping with roaches, bed bugs, but guess what? My family's still living in that, right? I came here with just my dad and my auntie. I'm like, my mom was still living in that environment. My brother was still living in that environment. My aunties, my uncles. And I'm like, yo, there's no way I can ever forget this, right? So even at some points, I feel like there was points in my life where I lost myself, started doing a bunch of stuff that I was listening to too much Wiz Khalifa. I'm like, so what? We get drunk, all that. You know what I'm saying? So I start, losing focus. And I realized, I'm like, yo, at the end of the day, if I don't get my stuff together and start being able to work hard and provide income for my family, they're never going to change their life. Their lives will never change. So what happened is I will always think back to what environment I was living in. And I'm like, I want to do better so I can put my family in better environments. I want to make sure that they have better houses. They ain't got to sleep with the mice. They ain't got to sleep with the roaches. They ain't got to sleep with the bed bugs, right? So I'm like, let me work hard so I can make sure I can take them out of that poverty and at least get them into better positions. They make it extremely hard to bring all your family here to the U.S. from Africa. But I'm like, at least if I can't bring them all here, let me try to make where they live as best as possible. You see what I'm saying? So what made me think was the fact that I'm like, my family's praying for me. And me being the one to come to the U.S., I can't rely on somebody else to be the one to be back home that's going to make a lot of money. I'm in a position where it's easier for me to make more money. So if I don't capitalize on this, it's kind of like a waste. It's like, why even come here? Like, truthfully, it sounds messed up to some people. It's like, oh, you didn't come here to the U.S. to just, work hard for your family. But it's like, truly, that's what you coming here for, right? You are in a better opportunity, a better position that a lot of people back home in those third world countries. So it's like, when I see immigrants not working hard, or people, who they know their family is coming from poverty, came from really nothing, and you're not working hard when you're in a better position, right? Especially in the day and the age we live in, right? You born these times, we have all the technology and stuff like that. It's like, how could you not be motivated to work hard and want to provide for your family? I can't even imagine that, right? So it just really just knowing where I came from, knowing that I truly just want to be the person that changes everybody, because I'm like, I can wait for somebody else in the family to come around, want to change it, but if I'm waiting around for that, I'm probably waiting for ages, right? I'm like, I'm in the position, God has blessed me, so let me go ahead and just capitalize on opportunities I was given and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah. Before you becoming an entrepreneur, what job did you work?
I worked in a few different jobs. I remember I was flipping burgers at White Castle. I probably flipped some of these people burgers right here. I was flipping burgers at White Castle. That was my first job. I couldn't believe it. Then I went to Amazon. I was working at Amazon in there. My back was hurting so much, man. I was in there slaving. My back was hurting every single day. I'm like, I can't do this. And then I went to a bread factory place called Toronto Nido Baking. It was killing me in there even more. I was doing six days a week, 12 hours a day, right? So I'm literally working every single day from 1 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. It was every single day. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I can't do this forever. Yeah. But at the time I was making good money, I'm like, I'm making $1,000 a week. I was like 18 years old. I'm like, man, this is good money. Then I'm like, you know what? I need something that's more stable, because I remember I was the only person that spoke English and everybody spoke Spanish. I'm like, yo, I can't even enjoy this job because I can't talk to nobody. So it's like making my day drag. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, let me find some other place I can get a lot of hours, and I don't gotta, I can at least talk to some people so I can actually make this go by fast. I went to a place called WeatherTech, and they sell floor liners. I was packing floor liners, and I'm like, I can't let this be where I leave off at, right? I'm like, I started thinking about my future, and I started thinking about how much money I really wanted to make. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to make what a surgeon is making. I'm trying to make what these doctors is making, but I can't do that with this type of job. So what can I go into to really make me a lot of money? And at the time, I didn't know what it was. I'm like, by any means necessary, I got to find a way out of this because I can't do this. I'm like, asking so many people in there. I'm like, how long have you been in here? They said, I've been in here for 10 years. I've been here for 15 years. I'm like, 15 years of this? Man, I can't believe it, right? If you're working a 9 to 5 right now, I want you to literally go ask the people that's in the job that you're doing, that miserable job you hate, ask them how long they've been doing it for. When you hear that, it's like, I got to find a way out, man. I can't do that. I can't fathom a universe of being able to do it. I'm like, you strong. You stronger than me. Doing this for 10 years, 15 years. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You lifting these heavy boxes, these pallet jacks. I'm like, I can't even imagine. So I just took that image out of my mind. I'm like, I'm never going to envision myself doing this for no 10 years or doing any other job like this for no 10 years. So I'm like, I'm just going to picture a future of me doing something that's entrepreneurship based that is not this. And that's the only reality that will come to fruition if I don't even see this as a possibility at all. And and I told myself that was gonna be my last job. I'm like, okay, this gotta be my last job. I'm gonna give myself 3 years to lock in and just focus on everything, focus on myself so I can actually get to that next level. And that's exactly what I did. By that 3-year mark, I was gone. I left my job maybe after 2 years and a half or so.
Yeah.
But I did set that 3-year time span so I can make sure I never forget the ultimate goal, which is to get out of here and be a full-time entrepreneur.
Yeah. So is that when you realize I want financial freedom and to do entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So the moment I realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur was actually when my cousin suggested to me this documentary called The Secret. I remember the time I had wanted to be an entrepreneur. I had wanted to start a business. But what happened was everybody around me was doubting me. I would ask my teachers, family members, and I telling them, I'm like, hey, I want to start this business. I want to do this. They're like, yo, they started giving me the statistics on how many businesses fail. They're like, man, 99% of businesses fail, 97% or whatever the number is. And I was like, you know what? You're right. That's too risky. So then I'm like, you know what? Let me just be a pilot, right? Then I remember I was working at White Castle. And my cousin, he was telling me how he wanted to be an entrepreneur. He wanted to start his own business. I'm like, yo, don't you know 99% of businesses fail? And I realized, I'm like, yo, I'm literally telling him, regurgitating the same information that was given to me, the same false beliefs that was literally given to me. And I was telling him now, because I was told by adults that I trusted that I shouldn't start a business because it's too risky. And now he looked at me, he like, yo, I don't care what anybody say. I'm not doing this job, right? I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to be a business owner. I can't do this for the rest of my life. I'm going to go all in my business. And then he told me, go watch this documentary right here called The Secret, and you're going to know exactly what I mean. He like, you can manifest anything you want in your life as long as you're willing to actually put towards the energy and the effort to actually obtain that thing. And of course, envision in your mind. And it sounded so ridiculous to me, but he was so certain that I'm like, I had to actually pursue and actually go watch this thing. So I went ahead and I watched The Secret. And after I watched it, it was a documentary. I highly recommend y'all go check it out. It broke down the truth to success, how to succeed, manifestation, law of attraction. And after I learned that was when everything completely changed. No longer was I talking about I want to be a pilot. No longer was I talking about wanted to be a police officer or just saying random stuff just to kind of make everybody happy. I started actually working towards wanting to be an entrepreneur. And that's when I picked up all my little side hustles again too. And I remember I was reselling candy. What I started doing, I was reselling book bags. I was reselling AirPod cases. I started doing drop shipping. I started doing print on demand on Etsy. And I started doing a lot of little different side hustles to make a little extra money. Cause then it sparked some in me. Like, wow, like I didn't think this was possible, but now he let me know this was actually possible and I can really achieve anything I want. Right. And I knew the kind of money I wanted to make was not going to come from being a pilot, but I'm like, at least I can travel free. You know what I'm saying? Cause I wanted to be at least able to travel around the world.
Yeah.
And that was really the pivotal moment that switched me back into the entrepreneur mindset from what I had back when I was, in high school. in Africa.
Yeah. So I noticed you said you tried a lot of side hustles, but what was some of the earlier failures from the side hustles?
So some of the early failures, let me see, I'm thinking about that. So I guess the biggest thing was I would start selling products and nobody was buying, right? So that was the biggest thing. Nobody was buying my products and services. So I had to just find the right product that fit the market, right? So I'm like, I was just promoting on my social media at the time, which I only had like 1,000 followers or something like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. I have to find a product these people actually want to buy. So then I start selling jewelry, right? Because I'm in high school. Everybody wanted jewelry. So I'm like, cool. I start buying jewelry in bulk and I'll start reselling it. I remember I created a drop shipping store. I tried that. It was doing cool. Then I realized everybody wanted a designer. My high school, everybody wanted design. They want the name brand. You know what I'm saying? They want the Louis belt. You know what I'm saying? They want the Ferragamo belt. So I'm like, okay, what if I can start getting this? I remember actually what happened was I asked my dad if he can help me find some of the designer stuff because I wanted to buy, some of the real designer and everything. And he took me to this store and they were selling fake designer. Now I'm like, yo, this is not what I was saying. He like, oh, I know a great spot. I know a great spot you can get designer for real cheap. I go in there, I see MCM bag for $50. I'm like, yo, this is not real. These is like 5,000. You know what I'm saying? You can get these for 1,000. So how are these gonna be a few hundred? You know what I'm saying? Or like $50. So I remember I'm like, oh, we're already here. So I just went ahead and I got it. I'm like, if I get this, and I remember I got it, I'm like, I could probably resell it, right? So I took it to school And they be like, man, I like that bag. You know what I'm saying? And at the school I went to, like, people knew there was people was wearing fake designer, but they didn't care. But I cared. I'm like, I didn't want to rock no fake designer. So what happened was I actually realized I could just be selling to people. So I'm like, I didn't want to just be selling to everybody in my school because like if everybody start rocking designer, they're gonna be like, all right, something going on. So I'm like, let me just sell it online. So what I started doing was I started actually just reselling it on a website like Mercari, Poshmark, and I started reselling the MCM bags and stuff like that. And that was finally when some actually started hitting. I remember my first week, it made like $900, almost $1,000. I'm like, okay, cool. And I was like 16. I'm like, okay, I can make a lot of money off this. And people knew. They're like, yo, this is, they just want a replica. And I had that in the bio. But those platforms didn't promote it. And they didn't want to keep pushing that. So since I had that in the bio, they didn't want to keep promoting. So they shut down accounts. They froze my money for like 9 months. Damn. And then I'm like, okay, I got to pivot, right? So now it's like I'm relying on these platforms to get my leads and stuff like that. And it got shut down. Then I start running Google ads to my own website. And I was getting a lot of cold traffic. I'm getting people come on there, but nobody's buying. And then I pivoted to actually doing influencer marketing. And then I started getting more sales. I'm like, okay, cool. This is better than the cold traffic because at least this person's audience trusts them. So if they're promoting it, it's not going to be the highest converting, but them promoting my products and services is actually making me more money. And I realized that was a better way. But I had to always rely on them. Their prices was going up. I'm like, okay, maybe I got to find a different route, which is when I'm like, I can really get into marketing myself. If I can grow a brand like this, then I can make the money without having to always pay them every single time I need to actually market my business.
Right. So, a lot of people quit after failing once or twice, right? What kept you going?
The thing that kept me going was where I came from, knowing that my family grew up in poverty, knowing that I grew up in poverty, knowing that if I don't make it, my family ain't gonna have nobody to actually really help them out. So what kept me going was like, and I was a little bit selfish as well too. I'm like, man, I want financial freedom. I want location freedom. I want time freedom. So I just kept pushing because I'm like, I cannot settle for less. If I don't have all these three things, I'm not gonna be happy in life. That's what I told myself. I'm never going to be happy in life if I don't have financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom. So I realized one thing. It helped me just weave out all the things I didn't want to do or the things I couldn't do in life. For example, if I want financial freedom, location freedom, time freedom, I can't work a 9 to 5. Why? Because yes, I can get financial freedom, but I'll never have time freedom and location freedom. I'm like, I'm a little selfish. I need all three or I'm not going to be happy. So I'm like, now I have to go into a lane where I can actually work for myself because I'm like, if I'm making $100,000 a year, $500K a year, and I'm working for somebody else, they gotta tell me, hey, you gonna go on lunch at this time, you gonna come clock in this time, you gonna do OT this time. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna be happy with that. I can't have another man telling me when I can eat my food. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let me just lock in, let me find a way I can actually be an entrepreneur. And that was the only thing that made sense. I'm like, if I want time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, right, I have to be an entrepreneur. I have to be a business owner because that's the only way I can actually get all three of those things.
Yeah. What was the turning point when things started finally working out for you?
The turning point was honestly when I started getting mentors and accountability partners. Honestly, because I remember I tried for years and years and years. I'll never forget. I have been trying. I told you I set myself a 3-year goal to make my first 6 figures. I'm like, I'm going to have to start making 6 figures in a year in the next 3 years. And I had to quit my job by that time. That's what I told myself. I'm like, I want to make my first 6 figures before I turn 22. Yeah. That's the timeline I set for myself when I was 18 years old. So when I set that goal, it was a lot of distractions. There's a lot of stuff going on. And then I realized, I'm like, yo, I'm 20. I ain't nowhere near making 6 figures a year. I'm like, yo, what am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I've been doing the same thing. I remember during that time, I got my real estate license. I tried a lot of different things, tried these different side hustles. I tried something called couch flipping. I tried a lot of different things, but nothing was really sticking. I wasn't making consistent income. Then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I have this skill set of content because when I was in high school, I did a little bit of YouTube. So I was doing some YouTube content. I was making some YouTube videos and I'm making a little bit of money. I was making like extra couple $100 a month. Now with that, I'm like, what it showed me was it was possible to make money online. So I'm like, I have the skill set with that. And the brokerage I was working at for the real estate I was doing, they was telling people, hey, get on social media. That's the best way to get leads for your business. So if you want organic traffic, they're either, doing a lot of like the signboards to putting boards everywhere, or they were doing a lot of posting on social media. Like really for real estate, it was really Facebook. But I'm like, Facebook is for old people. The thing that was popping at the time was TikTok. I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me get onto TikTok. And what happened was I found one of my old friends that went to high school with me. And he said, hey, he started working at my job. He's like, yo, let's do content. I'm like, you know what? I've been thinking the same thing. So I was thinking that God and the universe was aligning things to make sense, right? I'm like, you know what? I feel like if I don't do this, I'm definitely missing out. And I was still procrastinating, right? The thing was I was still procrastinating. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then I remember he pulled up to my house. He's like, yo, I'm not leaving this house until you actually post your first video. I'm like, this is literally a sign from God. I'm going to just go ahead and do it. So I went ahead and I dropped the video and everything really changed. The video got 400 views in like 24 hours, something like that. And to me, I'm like, yo, a lot of people social media be having a lot of people heads messed up because they think 100 views is not a lot of people. But guess what? If there was 100 people in the room, you probably be nervous to talk to 100 people, right? So I realized, I'm like, I got 400 views in this video. That's a lot of people in 24 hours. So that alone motivated me. Like, I can't stop this. I got 400 views and a lot and decent engagement. I got some comments. I'm like, I'm going to keep going. And I'm so glad I did because that was the turning point for me where literally within those 30 days, I remember I made like $800 or so. And I'm like, okay, that's still something. It wasn't nothing too crazy. And 6 months from then, I hit my first $10,000 a month. And on my 7th month, I hit my first $30K month and I was 21. So that was when everything completely changed. At that point, then I made sure I got a mentor. And I started learning more about how to actually grow and scale to that next level. Because at some points, I was literally just only monetizing off of just the content alone. I was doing 30 to 50K a month just off of views and off of sponsorships and affiliates. Then I realized, tapping with my guy, Chris, that I could also scale more by selling my own products and services to the audience. And that's what took me to the next level and start hitting 6-figure months and stuff too.
How important is mentorship to you?
Oh, man, it's very important because I always say if you want to get somewhere fast, the best way to do it is to pay somebody who already has the experience so you can actually accelerate your growth, right? Because like you only know what you know, right? So it's like if I don't know how to grow to first 100K followers, guess what? I'm going to find somebody who got the 100K followers. So I'm going to learn from them, right? Because it's like, yes, I can do it, but guess what? How long is that going to take me? If it take me 10 years to get to my first 100K followers because I decided to do it alone. Like, yes, I'm so happy I got to 100K followers, but it took me 10 years. How much money are you missing from that, right? Every year you're not making $100,000 a year because your social media is down. Guess what? That's an extra $100,000 a year you're missing. Every year you're not making an extra $1 million a year because you don't have a massive social media presence. Guess what? That's an extra $1 million a year that's missing, right? Because a lot of people think that, oh, I can, I'm going to make my first $1 million, whatever the case may be. I'm trying to make $1 million, but it's like everybody can make $1 million. The difference is how fast can you make that $1 million. There's people that doesn't make $1 million in a lifetime of working. And there's people that's making $1 million in a month. There's people that's making $1 million in a day, right? So it's like the most important thing is shortening that time so you can actually enjoy even more, right? So why get 100K followers over the course of 10 years? We can literally have it in the next few months. We can have it in the next year. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like getting that mentor, getting the strategies so you can actually accelerate is definitely, definitely a great option. Like I remember when I was trying to go from just 100K a month, 200K a month, and scale past with that. I really went and got a mentor, pay him I paid him $25,000 so I can actually get more execution, right? Because I found out he was doing a play where he's doing 100K days, $1 million in a day. I'm like, okay, cool. If I pay this man $25,000, I can learn how to make $100,000 in a day. Guess what? It's worth the investment, right? And a lot of people be thinking like, man, that's stupid. Why I paid $25,000? Why I paid $30,000 on this mentorship when it's like you don't even know if it's guaranteed or not. But nothing is truly guaranteed in life. You paid $20,000 to go to college. You're not guaranteed a job with that. Exactly. You pay $50,000 to go to college. You ain't guaranteed. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who pay $50,000 for a degree, ain't doing nothing with it. They still working a 9 to 5, at some warehouse, at McDonald's, right? So you're not even guaranteed a job. So why are you and that's only going to make you at what, $50,000 a year? So you can pay $50,000, make $50,000 a year. Hey, if I want to pay $50,000, I want to learn how to make $50,000 a month. I'm gonna pay $50,000. I want to learn how to make $50,000 in a day. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of people just be like, because they're so brainwashed by society, thinking that the best way to go is through school, through college. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with that, but guess what? Really think about that. Put those same exact type of effort into your actual self-education and your mentorships. Yeah. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. Because I'm like, yo, I have conversations with people. I'm like, man, you stupid. He paid $25,000. He paid it. I'm like, man, I'm finna learn how to do this. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all already doing that, right? Y'all gonna go spend $20,000 in a year in a club, and then you can't spend $20,000 on a mentor. Come on, stop playing. Exactly. Like you don't want it bad enough. That's what I'm saying. You don't want it bad enough.
What do you normally charge for your mentorship program? And like, if somebody watching right now want to join, what would they learn?
Yeah, for sure. So I have a couple different tiers depending on like how much access they want to me and how much help they need, right? So we got programs starting as low as $97 to as high as $45,000, right? The $45,000 is gonna be full access, and that's literally where my team and I actually come in and actually do their whole entire social media and the back end for them. So we're literally scripting, we're editing, and they're posting. That's really more for high level business owners. So that one's not for everybody. So it's a business owner that's doing at least $20,000 a month, who want to grow efficiently. 45K investment for a whole entire year. We work with them when we script, edit, and post every single month for the whole year, and we even guarantee them an extra 100,000 followers. Or we continue to work with them for free until they get to that 100K followers goal they're trying to get to. Or if they're already 100K, they want to get to 200K, extra 100K on that. That's what we go do. And of course, like I said, they just want coaching, some regular coaching. We got group coaching as low as $97. We even about to launch as well too. So, and we got some ebooks as well too for $20, $25. So whatever level of access they want, I can give it to them. And with that, what I teach people is how to grow and monetize their social media. Whether they're a new business owner who wants to sell more of their products and services through social media, or they're an established business owner who already have a decent brand and want to scale it to the next level, because the more you scale your brand, the more opportunities you get access to and the more money you can make, right? So say, for example, they're doing 100K a month. By adding that extra 100,000 followers, guess what? You can literally grow your brand presence and make people a lot more trusting of your products and services, right? And it gets you in the right rooms. I've literally leveraged my brand to get in rooms for free without having to pay, because I already have a massive brand, right? I went on stages, spoke at a bunch of different stages. Why? Because I already have that brand, right? So it helps tremendously with the brand presence. And also, if you're somebody completely new, they don't even know how to even make money online or anything of that sort, we help people with that as well too. So the program really show you step by step how to build your first digital product, how to start affiliate marketing, how to monetize your social media, how to get paid from these platforms, because these platforms be dropping a bag if you know the right platforms to get on, right? So I'm literally on every platform. I try to be on every platform so I can learn every platform. Like we got 200K on YouTube. I got 300K on Snapchat, right? Because I found out even Snapchat was paying. I'm like, okay, let me hop on Snap. You got 1 million on TikTok, 2 million on Instagram, 2 million on Facebook. I'm on every platform so I can learn how to, like, which one is paying the most right now, right? Like right now, a lot of people don't even know. I'm making extra $20,000, $50,000 a month off of memes on Facebook. People don't even know that, right? So it's like, literally, it's faceless. It's like I'm having it literally ran by VAs. I don't even do nothing, just collecting my money every single month. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know what you don't know.
Damn. So basically, how did social media really like change your whole life? Like, how did that vehicle put you in the position you in now?
Man, so what social media did for me was it took me from my broke 9-to-5 making $3,000 a month to making $30,000 a month in 7 months, right? I remember I was suffering. I was in $20,000 of credit card debt. And being in credit card debt was the best thing that ever happened to me, because what had happened was I realized I'm making $20,000 of debt. I'm making $30,000 a year. I ain't never gonna pay this off. I'm like, what that means is I gotta learn how to make this in a month. If I can learn how to make $20,000 a month, I can pay this off just like that in one single month. You see what I'm saying? So what it started doing was I'm like, I know for sure I can't pay this off my 9-to-5. So I gotta I'm either gonna get a second job, I'm gonna find something that's gonna really make me at least $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month so I can pay this off fast. So it lit a fire into me, because I'm like, now I ain't got no choice. Right? A lot of people, they get into debt. They get a little scared. They're like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you can use that to motivate you, right? I'm in $10,000, $20,000 of debt. I ain't gonna pay that ever. With this 9-to-5, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go find a higher income skill set that's gonna make me a lot more money. Then I can leverage that to pay the debt back even faster, right? So what I did was I leveraged that, and I was looking at, I'm like, okay, cool, I got $20,000 of debt. I'm gonna use this. Okay, cool, that's fine, no worries, because it was invest into self-education as well too, like buying to my real estate program and stuff like that. So it wasn't like reckless. And my car ended up crashing. I remember I had to get a new transmission, a new engine. That cost me, a few thousand. Just the engine alone was $7K. And I went ahead, I'm like, you know what? I'm still spending money responsibly, right? So I'm like, $20,000 of debt. I'm not scared. I'm just gonna learn how to make this in a single month. And that's exactly what I did. So when I started actually going full force in my business, literally 7 months, I hit my first 30K month, and a few months after that, hit 50,000. This all profit. This ain't no revenue numbers. This is profit take home. I was 21, 22 years old making that kind of money, because I decided to actually just execute the information and actually start applying the pressure and actually start doing it. Because what I realized is a lot of people want to put the effort in, or they want the end result, but they're not willing to put the effort in. They're not willing to put the work in, right? So they're allergic to execution. That's what I say. A lot of people are allergic to execution. So the issue is, if you're gonna be allergic to execution, you're never gonna get anywhere, because The thing that's going to drive you to actually achieve success is going to be the execution itself. You can't just be motivated alone. You can't just be, just, oh, I'm going to do this. You can't just be thinking about that outcome, that what's going to actually happen once you actually get the end result, right? You have to think about the work it's going to take to actually get there. If you can apply that, that's what's actually going to get you to that end goal. And that's what I focus on, is a lot of execution, so I can actually get to that next level, because you're never going to get to that dream life you're looking for if you're not going to execute the information it takes to actually get there.
Right. So what does success mean to you now versus when you first started?
What success means to me is I have financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom. The things that I wanted back then is what I have now. So that's exactly what it means to me. It means I can take care of my family. It means I don't got to worry about, when my next check will come in. It means I don't got to worry about if I can pay my bills for this month. It means I'm less stress-free, right? I have way less stress, and I can live longer, right? And I get to enjoy my life because I'm still young. I'm still in my early 20s, mid-20s now. But I can actually enjoy myself, going to trips. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can put a trip on my vision board, and then boom, we there next week. You see what I'm saying? We ain't gotta, we don't make vision boards no more. We make action boards. I bet. Exactly. Put on there. We there. We flying there next week. You know what I'm saying?
You've grown millions of followers across social media. What do most people misunderstand about growing online?
The thing that a lot of people misunderstand is that they think is either quality or quantity, when the truth is both. A lot of people think that, hey, do I just have to post a lot of videos and eventually it's going to go viral? Or do I have to focus on just doing one video that's super quality and post once a month, once a week? When you need both. A lot of people might feel like that's just an excuse, because guess what? These platforms, you compete with millions of people. There's people posting content every single second, every single day. So those are people you're competing with. So if you got your competitors that's doing 2 videos a day, 3 videos a day, and you wonder why they're outgrowing you, guess what? They're working harder than you. You know what I'm saying? You got to work hard if you want to surpass them. If you want to surpass somebody, why do you think doing less work is going to make you surpass that person? You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people make the excuse, or it's a quality or quantity. You need both. I need to see you doing 2 videos a day. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do all videos like the same exact day, but you can literally just do one day filming, do 15 videos, and then boom, be good for the whole week. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got to be filming videos every single day, but you need to be dropping at least 2 videos a day, and they got to be quality. Like I said, literally just leverage the platforms itself. Go do a lot of research and get a mentor. Find somebody that already has the experience, so you can literally just shortcut yourself to success, so you can actually start having real results. Because if you're thinking it was a quality or quantity, you got it messed up. You need both.
If somebody is starting from 0 followers, like 0, what is the first thing that they should focus on right now?
The first thing they need to focus on is doing competitor research. Because if you start just putting random content out there, it's not going to be good. You need to find out what that algorithm wants, what people really want to see. So you need to start doing a lot of research, consuming a lot of content that's in your industry, so you can actually understand, hey, this is exactly what people want. And what they can do is they can literally go to ChatGPT and ask for, what are 10 pain points that people are suffering in X industry? So they put in their industry exactly what people are suffering with, so they can actually see what people are suffering with, and they can make the content based on that. Because if you make a random content about what you think people want, you're going to get it messed up, because a lot of people, you don't even know what people truly want. But you can ask the platforms, hey, what do people want? And then the questions that ChatGPT gives you, I want you to copy that, go into Instagram and paste that question that it actually paste the answer into ChatGPT, and there now you can literally just ask. It's literally going to pull up a bunch of videos that people are literally searching up based on the topic you just searched up. And now you can use this as a frame of reference, right? Because there's a lot of different viral frameworks and different viral formats you can actually leverage on these platforms to actually go viral. So guess what? You don't know what you don't know. So if you look in the platforms itself and you see people doing this certain type of framework, okay, I bet in my niche, this is exactly what I need to be doing. Like, for example, if somebody was in the fitness space or something like that, they're doing fitness content. If you was to search up a question that ChatGPT gives you into the actual search bar on the Instagram algorithm, you're going to see a certain framework. Like, a lot of people, I've seen people, it's like the bad, good, excellent framework, where you're like, this food is good for this food is bad for this food is excellent for this, right? So you're not going to know none of that unless you start watching it, but you're going to see patterns as you start studying other people's content, and you can leverage that in your own piece of content to know what people actually want to see.
Right. How do you think social media changed now versus then?
I think then it was a lot easier to go viral. If you just drop any random video, you can just record yourself, just drop videos on TikTok, on Instagram, and they just be going viral. But now it's a lot more. You have to know the viral video frameworks, And on top of that, there's a trust deficit right now. So you need a lot of content that's going to build a lot of trust with people. So a lot of content that's telling about your story, a lot of content that's telling about your backstory, about your people you've helped, a lot of testimonials and stuff like that, so people know you're actually an expert in what it is you do and what you talk about. Because if you're making just a bunch of value-based content, that's not going to build a lot of trust with people. Okay, yes, they know you know what you're talking about, but they want to build more trust by knowing who you are. What's your background? All right, we got a similar background. All right, can I relate to this person? So you start doing that type of content. You didn't need that back then. You could literally just do a video, and these platforms paying a ton of money. You know what I'm saying? But now the issue is there's a lot of AI content. So anybody can literally just turn on AI just like this, start doing a bunch of content with AI, and then it just got you looking like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You can regurgitate the same information, but everybody has a different backstory. They might have a similar backstory, but everybody has something different, something unique about them. So make sure you portray that in your content and letting people know this who I've helped, this where I came from, this what I do, so they can really know, like, and trust you. So that's how I feel like it's changed. It's more of the trust factor and the different styles of content.
Do you think consistency matters or quality?
Like I was saying, I think both matters, because if you just have quality and you're not putting out enough content, it's good, but sometimes you can drop the video. It ain't gonna hit just because you dropped that first time. You need to do it a few times. I've did the same exact video a few times. The first time I did it, it did maybe a few 60,000 views. And then the second time I made small little tweaks to it. Even though it's same quality, but I did small little tweaks. And then the second time it got 1 million views. The third time it got 5 million views. Fifth time it got 20 million views. You know what I'm saying? By making small little adjustments to that same exact video. So now it's not just about the quality. I'm doing quality and quantity. I'm taking what's already working, I'm replicating it, and I'm dropping a bunch of content over and over and over. So it's not quality or quantity. You're going to need both of them if you truly want to make it in this social media stuff, because everybody's dropping content every single day. Anybody can drop a piece of content. So it's like you got to make sure you're making good quality content and staying consistent with it, right? And now these platforms got a bunch of different metrics. You can actually spam videos without even getting flagged or anything like that. Like Instagram, they got the trial reel play where you can literally take the same exact video, you drop it on Instagram, and you just do a duplicate, right? So what you want to do is you want to go to Instagram, you pull up your video as you about to post it, but before you post it, you want to save as a draft. Inside your draft, you're going to go back to that video and you're going to duplicate it 2-3 times. And in each version of that video, you're going to do a slightly different text hook. So you're going to put a hook on the screen, like the text on screen. You're going to make it different variations, and then you're going to post it as a trial reel. Right before you post it, it's going to say trial reel. Yeah. You say yes. And what's going to do is that goes to non-followers. So now you're literally like, it's like free ads. You can literally spam this. I literally spam this every single day, getting an extra 500 to 1,000 followers a day off of this play alone.
Damn, it's fire.
Yeah, so you can take the same video, duplicate it, and then you can split test. Because remember, I know you know about this too. Just a slight tweak in just the verbiage and the text alone is going to hit different. So now guess what? I can do the same video, drop it 3 times, and then the one that works the best, I can push that and then get posted to my actual page.
What are different ways people can monetize their social media online?
There's a lot of different ways to monetize. The first way is through affiliates. Okay. I like to say you can do affiliates. The second way is selling digital products. The third way is brand deals. Another way is actually selling your own products and services. And I'll focus on even each one of those. If you want to do affiliates, all you got to do is just search up a product and service you already use that's correlating around your niche. For example, if you do credit repair, you can search up some credit builders, right? And then search up affiliate afterwards. And what you're going to do is you're going to go in there, or any type of trade lines, you're going to search up afterwards, affiliate marketing or affiliate products. You're going to search it up. You're going to go to the brand page. And then at the very bottom of those pages, they're going to have an affiliate program, right? Or directly on that page. What you want to do is you want to sign up for that affiliate program. And now every single time you promote this product and service, you're going to get a little commission. Like, for example, if you're helping people with credit repair, guess what? They need these credit builders to stack on their accounts. And what you're going to do is every single time they add these credit builders, guess what? It make their profile look better. And now you're also getting paid. Maybe each person that signs up, you get an extra $50. You got a lot of clients. It gets to start adding up. Or even something that people don't even think about it. Guess what? If you're doing credit repair, you got people who need credit monitoring. Why would you not have an affiliate? Right. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to take that same credit monitoring and you're going to make sure you get an affiliate with either Smart Credit or whatever you prefer. I use Smart Credit. You get an affiliate with them, and now every single time you have to work with somebody's credit profile, you're also getting a little commission, and these add up crazy. I scale that easily to extra 5 figures a month off of just an extra affiliate, right? So imagine making an extra 6 figures a year off of just affiliates alone. And something like that with the credit monitoring, that's MRR, so monthly recurring revenue. So every single month, it stacks up, it stacks up, it stacks up, right? And if you're helping somebody with business funding, guess what? You can literally, they need an LLC if you don't got one already, so you can get an affiliate for an LLC. And if they're structuring the LLC, you get that affiliate. And now every single time they create the LLC or they get business domain or whatever they're getting, you're getting a percentage of that as well too. So now you might get a little $50, you get $100, and now you're able to make money off of just all the products and services you're already helping people with. Right. So that's the first thing they can do. The second thing they can do is sell digital products. An easy digital product they can sell is ebooks. You saw ebooks before?
Yes, sir.
Ebooks. So a lot of people, they be wondering how I don't have any ebooks. How can I create one? With all the AI that we got, you think you can make an ebook and sell in 30 seconds? You absolutely can. There's a couple different plays with this. The first thing they can do is they can get what I call private label rights or master resale rights for other digital products. They can go to a website called PLR Hustle, and there it gives you access to be able to purchase done for you digital products that you can just resell at a higher price. So I bought one for $17 and I went and resold it for $50. So now every single sale, I just need one sale, I'm already making a profit, right? And you can literally structure on a platform called Stand Store. On Stand Store, it takes a few simple clicks. You can have your landing page set up in literally a few minutes. And if the person wants to create their own digital products, they can go to Canva AI and literally tell it exactly what digital product they want. And Canva AI will literally build out in 30 seconds, no exaggeration. And now you can literally just turn this into a PDF directly in Canva and then put it into Stand Store as your digital product. And you can market at any single price you want to. I don't recommend anything over $50 for an ebook, but boom, now you can start selling some digital products. If you want to start getting brand deals, the first thing you need to do is make sure you're making good content. When your views are up, that's when you get the most money for brand deals. I done got $25,000 for a single 30-second post because, of course, I grew my brand. And for the people that's thinking, oh, he got millions of followers, that's the reason why. Within my first 6 months of doing content, I was getting paid $1,000 to $2,000 for a single 30-second post. I remember I had just quit my job, and a brand was like, yo, we'll give you $18,000 for 7 videos. I'm like, yo, hold on, say 7 videos for $18,000? Say less. I just quit my job. You know what I'm saying? So I went ahead and I got the money, $18,000 for a few simple 30-second videos. In order to get brand deals, there's a few different options. The first thing is you want to put an email of a business in your actual bio. So what you want to do is go in your bio, create an email at a business domain, and you want to put it in your bio so the brands will know where to reach out. Because people are like, yo, I'm not getting brand deals. Guess what? Do you have a way for them to contact you? Right? So make sure a business, and then you have at your email, right? So that's the first thing they can do. The second thing they can do is they can sign up for platforms that actually send you a bunch of different brand deal options and brand new opportunities. A couple I like is Aspire and Obvious.ly. Those are a couple of good ones. And I remember Obvious.ly, I went on there and I got an $18,000 brand deal, but I didn't even take it because it was a brand that did not align with what I was talking about. It was for Puma, right? To make some content with Puma. I'm like, okay, 18K, that's good, but I can't, this is random. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you got some good brand deals that you literally just log into the portal and they're going to start suggesting a bunch of
And what is it called?
Obvious.ly.
Okay.
Like obviously, Obvious.ly and Aspire. Those are a couple different ones. Aspire.io, I believe. Okay. And for another thing is if they're selling their own products and services, I highly recommend they sell it through their audience through a one-to-many style. A lot of people pushing people for book calls. If they're selling credit repair, book calls, funding, whatever the case may be. But a lot of products and services, especially if it's coaching offer, you can do a one-to-many, like doing webinars. You push people to a webinar, free webinar, and then guess what? You can actually get them on a call, because the best and easiest way to convert people is some type of live. Like, so either going TikTok live or doing Instagram live or pushing people to a live webinar where they can actually go in there and actually start selling. You can sell to people live on there and you're going to get the highest conversion, right? Because you can push somebody to book a call, you can push somebody to a link to just purchase the product and service, but you're always going to get your highest converting person if you are live with them on a call. That's without a shadow of a doubt. All right, so if you want to sell more, and now if you're doing one-to-many, guess what? You have 500 people in a room, you got 100 people in a room, you got to convert 10%, 5%. You see what I'm saying? The numbers begin to add up. So instead of just waiting for a book call, seeing the person going to show up or not, you can sell a bunch of people all at one time.
All right. So, I know you was talking about your mentorship price earlier. Kind of like let them know where they can go sign up for that, and, where they can reach you and how they can get in tune. How can they join the program? You know what I'm saying? How you can help them build their brand and all that.
Yeah, 100%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a link you can actually give them as well too. Okay. So he's going to drop it in the description, and there's going to be a link to my free school community. You can literally hop in there, and I got a bunch of resources. It already got literally my playbook on how to grow your business to 10K a month. Or if you're already 10K a month, you want to grow to 100K a month, it'll literally show you how to grow your brand to 100K a month for your business, and you're gonna grow your first 100K followers, I literally got a whole entire free video in there, how to grow your following to your first 100K followers, how to grow your first 10K followers, how to use AI to actually write your video scripts that actually give you real viral video scripts other than ChatGPT, because anybody can use ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is played out. It's not really for scripting content. So we're gonna give you the right AI tools you can use for scripting your content so you can save a lot of time. That's the thing I like to focus on, right? It's like, how can I save you a lot of time, right? I'm gonna show you the resources, everything so you can actually learn these and start implementing these so you can save us a lot of time and make a lot of money. All right. So we got that. And inside there, they want to upgrade. They want to get into the mentorship. They want to get to the $97 a month program. They want to get someone higher. They're a high business owner. They want to get the inner circle. We got an inner circle as well too. They can get into inner circle for a little less than 10K. They can get into our done for you service as well too. So we got all that. But if they tap in, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show them exactly how to structure the content out correctly, post efficient content that don't just get viral views, but actually bring people that actually wants to buy their products and services. And that's the most important thing right there, right? And how to save a lot of time creating the content, and what I use to scale my business over 6 figures a month through social media organically, and scale my business to 7 figures by the age of 24.
Hey, Mr. Wealthy, let's get it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.